Hi everybody, I'm back making videos after about a month break. I just needed to take a bit of a rest. Some good stuff's happened over the past month with the channel. The channel was picked up by one of the YouTube networks. So this channel is now part of Music Nation, which is part of Blue Box Network. And what that does is that gives me the opportunity to spend more time making videos. It's opened up a pathway for me to focus more on this channel. Just by the ads that come up at the beginning of the page or at the end of the video, that's starting to generate some revenue with this network, and my channel's getting a lot more attention now. So that's going to give me the opportunity to do what I was talking about, and that's to start up a call-in podcast, video podcast. There's going to be a Kickstarter announcement probably within the next day or two. I'm just waiting for final approval through Kickstarter, and I'll be able to launch that, and I'll be able to get the ball rolling on this channel. So I'm pretty excited because the channel's getting attention, and at this point the irony is, and the greatest payoff is, I have the opportunity now with this channel to be able to live eventually off the abuse that my parents doled out and my ex doled out. So that's exciting for me, and I look forward to it, and I hope everybody looks for that video when I put it out. And I hope if you can donate, go ahead and donate, and the introduction video will give some more explanation as to where the channel's going, what I'm doing with it. So during this past month, I've received many emails, and read some of the Facebook forums, and one of the recurring themes has been, again, seems like a lot of people going through divorce, both men and women, battling that narcissist in either divorce court or the family court system. And I've made my opinion pretty clear. You're gonna that of how divorce courts and family courts work. The first thing that you always have to keep in mind is, before you even step foot in that courtroom, the court already knows who's getting what. It's a cookie cutter process, and it's predetermined by who makes what, who did what, who worked how long for what, who is primary caregiver of the children, etc., etc. All the minutia and the infighting that goes on in these family court proceedings and in these divorce court proceedings benefit nobody but the two lawyers and the court itself. Because those lawyers are out to keep the fight going as long as they can, so they could squeeze every single possible cent out of both parties. I can't tell you how many people have either told me or I have read about, my lawyer didn't fight for me, my lawyer didn't do this, my lawyer didn't do that, because the lawyer's not there to protect you in family or divorce court. They're there to make money for themselves. And those two lawyers, you think that they have your back, they have each other's back. And they'll put on a good show, but that show's costing everybody money. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, things are going to be divided exactly the way exactly the way it was already predetermined before you went into these months to years long battles in court, and nothing happens other than the lawyers get your money. But the added thing you have to think about and you have to keep in mind, especially if you're watching this channel and you are somebody who's trying to recover from narcissistic abuse, whether it be narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, even some levels of bipolar disorder, is that the narcissist gets off on the conflict. And the one the one the one post that I read that struck me the most, and I'm not going to go into great detail. I'm not going to name the person. All I'm going to say this was a female, and it was a customary post that you see in a lot of the forums about somebody going through divorce court, of how it didn't go right and the lawyer wasn't looking out for them, and how the judge accepted the husband's terms of divorce, whereas the husband was the one who filed first. They gave a cause for divorce, and it looked like the judge was going to grant it on that motion. I'm not even going to say what it was. I don't want it to embarrass the person. So all I'm going to say is, one of the grounds for the divorce, this is what the husband filed for, and it seemed like the judge seemed like that's what he was going to grant it on. And this person was very upset about it, and somebody asked, because I don't post on the forums, and somebody asked, luckily somebody then asked the question that I was asking was, well, do you still want to be married to this person? And if not, if you want the divorce as well, why does it matter? And as it turned out, this person did want the divorce as well. But once again, not once again, but in this case, and what happens a lot is you get that pride thing, and you get sucked into the narcissist trap of continuing that battle of wits that the narc loves to have, that mind game, keeping it up. And when you're in there and you're in court and you're having these battles with your narcissist, you're only feeding that narcissist supply. And here's why. In the back of that narcissist's head, they're terrified, because to them this could be their last hurrah, their last shot, and they see that power they have over you slipping away. Even if they're the one who filed for divorce, or they're the ones who filed for in family court, even though they might be the one to initiate the breakup and the end of the relationship and the end of the marriage. That doesn't matter. They're still looking for that. They can't help themselves that they have to still seek out that narcissistic supply. And so many people say how the family court, I tried to tell my lawyer, and I tried to tell the court, and I tried to tell the judge that this person's a narcissist, or this person has borderline, or this person is histrionic, and they just weren't going to listen. And they're not going to listen, because that judge is only there to interpret the law. Judges, by and large, aren't there to render, who's right and who's wrong in a divorce. That's not what they do. Now, the problem is you've watched so much TV and so much Law and Order and old divorce court shows and all these ridiculous court shows where these people sit there in judgment, and you have your payoff. Oh, you were a lying son of a bitch. You get 60%. You get it. But that's not reality. Reality is divorce laws are already written by your state legislatures. They're signed in, they're approved, and the judge's job is to interpret the law. There's none of these, there's no state in this country. Now, I don't know about overseas, UK, Canada. I think Canada has pretty similar divorce laws to us. where there's an at-fault clause. Well, you were a lying, cheating son of a bitch, so you only get 30%. She gets 70%, and you don't only get to see your kids for one day, and she gets them, and your child support is doubled because you're a gambler, or you have a drug problem, or whatever. That's what we see on court. That's what you see on TV, and that's what you see in your media. But that's not reality. But your lawyer doesn't tell you that. Your attorneys don't tell you that. They pump you up. Yeah, we're going to get them, and I could fight this, and I could. They don't fight anything. They get rich off of your misery. And it's bad enough when it's two people who don't have personality disorders trying to get a divorce or trying to get through family court. You throw in narcissism, okay? Because now you have the attorneys working against you, and you have your soon-to-be ex-narc working against you. And the problem is that they're all in it for the long haul. The longer they can drive it out, and for the lawyers, the longer they could drive it out, prolong it, the more they get paid. The longer the narc can prolong it, the longer their supply is served, and they feel they have power over you because they're still in fear that they're giving up that power. So when you sit there in family court, or you sit there in divorce court trying to fight over who's right and who's wrong, you're wasting your time. And as a survivor, and as somebody who's trying to recover from narcissistic abuse, you're only feeding into the problem, and you're delaying your own healing, your own closure, and your own ability to move on and heal. Now, when there's children involved, understandably, yeah, that's a different story. If somebody's trying to get custody, but what I would suggest you do is to research yourself your state's custody laws, and they're very easy to read. It's not like you need to be a legal eagle to figure it out. The custody laws are very simple. They're based on who has the most time with the child, and 99 times out of 100, the woman's going to get the child anyway. They're going to get what they want. The visitation's already predetermined. So, but once these accusations start flying, and then you're bringing in experts, and it's all money down the drain. Now, if you have to fend off, if your narc is claiming physical abuse, sexual abuse, a drug habit, yeah, obviously you're going to have to go to the wall with that, and you're going to have to do what you have to do, and you're kind of stuck. But you should always ask your attorney, what do I have to do to end this right now? And the attorney will eventually tell you, well, it's going to basically come down to this. And then that's what the other attorney will more than likely tell them. And you'll end up settling on what was going to be predetermined anyway. That's how I had to finally end my divorce. I had to throw my hands up and say, that's it. And once I did it, it was going to be the same thing I was going to get regardless whether I was fighting or not. And it's just not worth it. And I realized very late that by fighting in divorce court and trying to fight in family court, I was only prolonging. And I was only prolonging, and I was only feeding in to the narcissistic supply. So you have to get over that whole pride thing. I mean, if you want out of the relationship, well, first of all, if somebody wants to break up with you or is filing for divorce, I would think, why would you want to be with somebody? First, for me personally, why do I want to be with somebody who doesn't want to be with me? So trying to fight the actual terms of divorce and saying is very rare. So, but I mean, if that's the path you're trying to go down, all I'm going to say is, why you've been discounted so much during your life. How does trying to hang on to somebody who you know is a narcissist abuser and hold on to a marriage with that person benefit you at all? Why would you want to be with an abuser? And especially an abuser who really doesn't want to be with you, only wants to abuse you. And that's a tough lesson to learn, because dealing with narcissistic abuse, you devalue yourself, and you're so devalued, and your self-esteem is so low. It's hard to keep it in perspective, and you want so badly for somebody. You have that fantasy on TV that that judge is going to slam the gavel down and scream at the ex and hold them in contempt and tell them what tell them what a horrible person they are. And that just doesn't happen. That's not reality. It's a business transaction when it's all said and done. And it's all based on whatever your state laws have already dictated. So the infighting does nothing. The second one is, if you're fighting over who did what in the marriage, who's more to blame, and you both want out of it, why bother? Just get it over with. Because your goal to recover from narcissism is to get away from that narcissist as fast as possible and begin your no contact and to begin your healing. That's how you win. You're not going to win by some guy in a robe passing judgment and telling your ex what a horrible person they are and you're right and this person's wrong and how dare they do this to you. It's not going to happen. It never happens. It never happens. Your happiness is going to be based on your independence from your narcissist, from your abuser. Your happiness and your revenge and your getting over on the narcissist is based on you getting that person out of your life as fast as you can and getting them as far away as humanly possible. Now, it's not always possible if there's children involved, but whatever your boundary is, whatever you can get, the furthest distance you can get, and whatever boundary you could put up is your victory over this person. And even if there is a child involved, eventually that child's going to be grown. So that interaction with that narcissist is going to come to an end eventually, and you will have that total no contact. That's your victory. That's your healing. Not some guy in a robe telling you, yeah, right and wrong. You want it because you've been so abused and you've been so wronged, and you just don't want to be bad-mouthed, and you don't want you don't want this, this person was like, well, now he's gonna be able to tell everybody that he was able to divorce me because of X, Y, and Z. Who cares? Who cares what he does? And as I said, anybody who would listen to the narcissist without coming to you, who would just take the narcissist's word without reaching out to you and finding out from what the other side is, or if you're okay, or what the deal is not worth worrying about anyway. They're not on your freaking side. Let them. Anybody the narcissist can tell bad stuff about and will believe it is not worth your time anyway. He's doing you a favor, because the narcissist at that point is showing you who I need to keep the hell away from. Thank you. Thank you for showing me all these people are just morons who just go along with anything you say. Thank you for showing me who I need to keep out of my life. Okay, and what you'll find is once all of these people out of your life, the happier and happier and happier you're going to be. And the more and more clarity you're going to have. And I keep saying that word, clarity. As I progress, everything becomes more and more clear. My clarity grows every day. I'm able to refocus on the things I want to focus on. I've been able to stay in the gym, stay healthy, not overeat at all. And it's because I knew when to cut my losses. I knew what battles were worth fighting, and what battles weren't worth fighting. And let me tell you something. There's very few battles with the narcissist that are worth having. As I said, no contact is the only solution, because as I've said, the only way to beat a narcissist is not to engage them. And engaging them in family court, in divorce court, trying to say who did what, is giving them exactly what they want. It's giving them the opportunity to attack, the opportunity to second guess yourself, to get in your head, to get under your skin, and to throw off any type of recovery. And it's going to delay any type of healing that you're going to have. Nobody ever says, "Oh, well, my narcissist was so bad, and then we got through counseling, and now everything's great." Have you found one? If you can find me one, you find me one success story of dealing with a narcissist or somebody with a personality disorder where they've changed. I defy you. And everything's great now, and everything's hunky-dory. There isn't one. There isn't one. So why prolong the inevitable anyway? Okay, everybody. I'm going to wrap up the video here. Thanks for watching. Please keep an eye out for my Kickstarter launch. I'm really excited about it. If you're new to my videos, please subscribe. If you haven't, feel free to share my videos anywhere you like. You don't need to ask me my permission. If you want to share it on your page, or if you're running a blog or anything, feel free to go ahead and share it. Again, I try to answer as much correspondence as I can. I do get inundated. I'll be more on it now that I'm back making videos again. I'm definitely going to be increasing the number of videos I'm making. I'm going to shoot for about 4 a week. I think I could do that now. I've got a lot of material to go over, a lot of questions, a lot of good topics, and looking to expand everything. And thanks for watching. I hope to talk to you all real soon. Thanks again. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.